welcome back to your Italian lessons for beginners. Today I will talk about a very important topic, which is geography of Italy, geografia dell'Italia. Let's start with montagna. So pay attention to the sound of this word because English people would say montagna, but it's not montagna because in Italian the G and the N put together give the sound ñ. So not gn but ñ. And so what does montagna mean? It means mountain. Mountain in the singular form. The plural form montagne, so the final A goes away and we put an E, and so we have the plural of montagna, montagne. We can also say catena montuosa, which means mountain belt. And if you want to say the plural of catena montuosa, you will say catene montuose. So even in this case, the final A in catena and montuosa goes away and we put an E. So catena montuosa, mountain belt, catene montuose, mountain belts. There is also a very special kind of mountain, which is vulcano, and I'm pretty sure you perfectly know the meaning of this word because it's very similar to the English one, volcano. So vulcano, singular, vulcani, plural. And so if we take a look at the map on the left side, we can see some mountains, some Italian mountains. So let's have a look in a more detailed view. So starting from the northern Italy, you have many mountains, right? So the most important mountain belt we have in Italy is the Alps. When we talk about Alps, we can talk also about some parts of Alps. For example, sorry, I have to go back. Let's take this just to highlight some terms. So we have, starting from the western part of the northern Italy, we have Alpi occidentali. Here it is. It's not so clear, so then I will put the zoomed view so you can see it better. Alpi occidentali. Do you remember what occidentali means? The first lesson I have talked about the cardinal points, and so occidentali comes from ovest, which is west, the west cardinal point, and so Alpi occidentali means Western Alps. Then you have Alpi centrali. This is easy because centrali is very similar to English central, so Central Alps. And then you have Alpi orientali. And do you remember what orientali means? It comes from the east cardinal point, which is est in Italian, and so Alpi orientali means Eastern Alps. So if we get the zoomed view, you will see Alpi occidentali right here, Alpi centrali, and Alpi orientali. Then we can move southern and take a look at the Apennines. So in Italian we call Apennines Appennini, And you have three parts of the Apennines, which are, sorry, I have to go back because I don't see the highlighter. And so you have Appennino settentrionale. Settentrionale, what does it mean? It means northern. Then you have Appennino centrale. And then you have the last one, Appennino meridionale, which means southern Apennines. And then let's go forward. I've just talked about vulcano or vulcani, volcano, volcanoes. And so in Italy, we have two very famous volcanoes, which are Etna in Sicily and Vesuvio near Naples, Napoli. And so if I put the zoom, you can have a more detailed view. So Appennino settentrionale, Appennino centrale, and Appennino meridionale. What about the volcanoes? Etna, you find Etna right here in Sicily, and Vesuvio, as I said before, near Naples. And so let's go forward. We have collina. The plural of collina is colline. So even in this case, because it's a feminine noun, the final A goes away and we put an E. But in Italy, we can also say colli. So when I say colline or colli, I mean the same thing. They are hills. The singular of colli, I forgot to write it, is colle. So you have an E, final E right here. And so you put away the I and you put an E, colle. So colle, collina, singular, colline, colli, plural. An example of colli is Colli Euganei. Do you know where Colli Euganei are? They are just right here. So I can highlight them here, Colli Euganei. And now the zoom right here, Colli Euganei. So this is the first part of this lesson. I've talked about mountains and hills. Let's go and let's see what I've prepared for you. So now we have pianura. Pianura means plain. And the plural of pianura is pianure. We can also say basso piano, which is a synonym of pianura. Basso piano is the singular, basso piani is the plural. And I can also say in the plural form bassi piani, so another I put right here. They are both correct, and so now you see how flexible Italian is. Basso piano means lowland. So what about plains in Italy? Starting from the top, there is a very big plain right here, which is pianura, plain, padana. And so I go back just to take the highlighter and just to highlight pianura padana. Pianura padana is the most important plain in Italy because it's so big. Then if we move southern, we find another important plain, which is Maremma. Maremma is in Tuscany, and so just highlight it, Maremma. Then if we move southern, we find Agro Romano, near Rome, the capital of Italy. And then we have the last one, which is Tavoliere. Tavoliere delle Puglie, because it is in Apulia, the Apulia region. So, Tavoliere. Okay, so let's go forward. We have fiume. Fiume is river, and the plural of fiume is fiumi. Fiume is a general term. So if I say fiume, I mean all kinds of rivers. So if I say fiume, I mean something which is very general. If I want to give more detailed information about the river I'm talking about, I would use different terms, such as ruscello. The plural of ruscello is ruscelli. It means stream or streams in the plural form. So you find ruscelli in the mountains area. Rio, pay attention to the R, Rio. It's not the English R, the Italian R is stronger. Rio, which is Rio, and the plural is rios. Then you have torrente or torrenti in the plural form, which are creeks. So you find this kind of river in the mountains too, as the ruscelli. And then canale or canali, the plural form, which is channel or channels. And so if we take a look at the map, let's see what are the most important rivers in Italy. So starting from the northern part, I see this big river right here, which seems to cut Italy from west to east. This river is Po. So Po is the most important river in Italy because it's the biggest one. Moving southern, we find other important rivers such as Arno, which is the river of the city of Florence, Firenze. And so here is Arno. Then you have another important river is Tevere, which is the river of Rome. So here you have the three most important rivers in Italy. Of course, there are other important Italian rivers, such as, for example, Piave, right here, so in the northern Italy, right here. And then you have other rivers such as Adige, or for example, Adda, or moving southern, Tronto, Volturno, there are many. And so let's go forward and let's see what we have next. Lago. Lago is lake, and the plural of lago is laghi. Pay attention to, as I've put right here, pay attention to this sound, because when you have in Italian the letter G followed by the H, it's not G sound, but it's G. So I know English people would pronunciate this word as laghi, but it's not laghi, it's laghi. And so lago, singular, and laghi, plural. So pay attention to this sound. But I will talk about Italian alphabet in another lesson. A synonym of lago is bacino. Pay attention also to the C, because in Italian C is never, never, never C, but is C. So we have the sound C using the S letter, but when we use the C letter, for example, we don't say bacino, but we say bacino. So C is always ch, ch, right? Bacino, the singular, bacini, the plural. And what does bacino mean? It means basin or basins if we use the plural. And so what about Italian lakes? So starting from the northern Italy, you have many, many lakes. For example, Lago Maggiore, Lago di Como, Lago di Iseo, Lago di Garda. And so let me highlight them so you can see them in a better way. Lago Maggiore, right here. Lago di Como, Lago di Iseo, Lago di Garda. Moving southern, we find other important lakes, such as Lago Trasimeno, Lago di Bolsena, and Lago di Bracciano. Bracciano, pay attention to the C, also in this case, because the C, as I've told you before, is never C, but ch. And so let me highlight them. Lago Trasimeno, Lago di Bolsena, Lago di Bracciano. So these are the most important lakes in Italy. And finally, we have mare. Mare means sea. And the plural form of mare is mari. You know, Italy is in the Mediterranean Sea, but the Mediterranean Sea has been divided into many other seas, such as, starting from the western side, Mar Ligure. The name Ligure comes from Liguria, which is this Italian region. Then you have Mar Tirreno, right here. Mediterraneo, so Mediterranean Sea. Mar Ionio, right here. And Mare Adriatico. The name Adriatico comes from Adria, which is a little town right here. Adria was a very important city in the past, when in the Italic peninsula there were Greek people. When we talk about mare, so when we talk about sea, we can use different terms such as golfo in the singular form, golfi, the plural one, oceano, oceani, baia, baie, stretto, stretti, canale, canali. What do these terms mean? Here you have the English translation, so golfo, gulf, oceano, ocean, baia, bay, stretto, strait, and I've written right here Stretto di Messina, which is this one. So here. Then you have canale or canali, channel or channels in the plural form. So here you have the geography of Italy. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I have a very special surprise for you, because I've just put down below each video of the Italian course for beginners a link which will lead you to Google Drive, and there you will find some exercises about all the topics I've talked about until now in this course. So you will find exercises about Italian regions and capitals, some exercises about Italian colonialism, and some exercises about geography of Italy. So I will see you in the next lesson. Bye. Ciao.